Sí.
Ya se conectó Marta, entonces no te preocupes por ningún plan B.
Ya, ok, gracias por avisar.
Entonces 9:02, por favor, o sea, en 2 minutitos, 3
Sí,
minutitos.
sí, sí. Good morning in Mexico and good evening in Bangladesh. I would like to remind you that you can activate the translation of the event into Spanish on your screen. The button indicates interpretation. On behalf of Universidad de Monterrey, I warmly welcome you to a new session of UDEM Fall Series 2020, a special autumn edition that UDEM has prepared especially for you. I am Carlos Atochecon, Dean of the Business School of Universidad de Monterrey, and it is a pleasure to be with you today. We thank our members of the boards, directors, professors, students, the staff members, and friends of UDEM for attending this very special webinar entitled Redesigning Actions for the New Economy, presented by Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Peace Laureate 2006. Universidad de Monterrey worries about what's happening with the economical, educational, and social situation through the pandemic. We continue to seek what our founders believed, a culture centered on the humanization of each and every person, openness to every creed and background that rejects all forms of privilege and discrimination, and the conviction that transcendence is achieved in the service to others. From the Yunus Center UDEM and the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub, we believe that creating social business would absolutely create powerful changes in the world. That's why, until today, we have trained more than 3,000 hours to social businesses, creating in less than 2 years around 35 social businesses, participating in more than 16 national and international contests, and scaling up in just 1 year 8 social businesses. Now, all our products have been moved to a virtual mode. We have received for this year social businesses from all Latin America and the Caribbean, such as from Colombia, Peru, and Cuba. We couldn't do it alone. We count with more than 200 professional mentors in our network and with more than 30 partners in different fields. Also, we started working as an YSBC LATAM network. This means that together, Universidad Externado from Colombia, Universidad Privada de Cumbre from Bolivia, and Universidad de Baja California from Tijuana, Mexico, are working to create the Social Business LATAM Challenge 2021. We thank all and each one of you for all the work we have done together. It is my pleasure to introduce Marta Herrera. She's a proud graduate from UDEM and she serves as a member of our board. Marta is a lifelong learner and has a strong academic background on public policy and social impact, with professional experience in both the public and private sector. Being a social and inclusive activist, passionate about women and youth empowerment, social innovation, and a firm believer in the creation of strategic alliances to scale efforts. Marta joined the CEMEX family 25 years ago and is currently Global Social Impact Director for CEMEX and Director of CEMEX Tech Center for the Development of Sustainable Communities, President of the United Nations Global Compact Network in Mexico, and is also President of NEO Nuevo León, a multi-sector alliance for the employability of youth in Latin America, Rede America in Latin America, and President of the Human Development Committee of the State of Nuevo León Council. She has led the establishment of more than 500 global active partnerships with governments, academia, civil society, and companies, contributing to the well-being of 7.6 million people in 5,000 communities globally. She participates in 30 councils of the private and public sector and has been recognized national and international for her leadership by organizations such as Forbes, among others. The projects she has led have been acknowledged and awarded by the United Nations, Fortune Change the World List, Habitat, Mexican Stock Exchange, Organization of American States, Inter-American Development Bank, for creating shared value as part of the business strategy. Marta will be moderator throughout this session. Welcome, Marta, and thank you for being here today.
Good day. Good day to all. Hoping you and your families are doing great and staying healthy. And thank you very much, Dr. Carlos Atoche, for making me part of this UDEM Fall Series 2020. As an alumni of the university, I'm delighted and grateful to introduce Nobel laureate Professor Mohamed Yunus, a dear friend of mine whom I admire so much for being a pioneer on both social businesses and microcredit, the founder of the Grameen Bank and of more than 50 other companies in Bangladesh. For his constant innovation and enterprise, the Fortune magazine named Professor Yunus in March 2012 as one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time. In 2006, Professor Yunus and Grameen Bank were jointly awarded Nobel Peace Prize. He is the recipient of 61 honorary degrees from universities across 24 countries. He has received 136 awards from 33 countries, including state honors from 10 countries. He is one of the only 7 individuals that have received the Nobel Peace Prize, the United States Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the United States Congressional Gold Medal. He has appeared on the cover of Time Magazine, Newsweek, and Forbes Magazine. So without further ado, I give the Zoom floor to Professor Yunus. It is great to have you here and welcome you again.
Thank you, Marta. Wonderful to hear you, wonderful to see you. And I'm very happy that I could be with the University of Monterrey and with UDEM. This is a very happy occasion for me. Here I am sitting in my home in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, and talking to you way out there. And because of this technology now we have, and particularly because of the corona pandemic, that we are all at home right now, and can still be communicate with each other. And this, since we are at home, communicate a little bit with each other, and it gives us an opportunity for lots of reflections. What's going on? What's the issue? What can be done? And that's what I wanted to share with you. So basically a chat that I would like to have with you, what I feel. One thing always comes to me, the newspaper, television, and saying the economy is in a pause now because everything is stopped by the pandemic. And I keep telling them, look, it's not a pause, because pause means it will get back again, action. It's a temporarily in freeze, but when the freeze goes, it goes back to action again. Same old way, same thing, same procedure. And I said, look, we should not look at it as a pause. We'll say this is a dead stop, so that we don't restart it in the same way. It's not a pause. We start in a new way, because the old way that we have been pursuing in the world for many years have been very terrible for us. It's not leading us to any hope, any opening for human being on this planet. And that is because what we see, the outcome of the entire system that we have been pursuing, the economic system that we have built, leads us to 3 major disasters right now. And each one ends with the total elimination of human being on this planet. One of them is, of course, global warming. The global warming is going very fast and is becoming faster and faster. Our scientists tell us that we don't have much time left. They even give us the warning that time is running out. It's a countdown has begun. So you cannot stop that countdown. So it's coming very close to the end of it. And maybe 2 decades, maybe 3 decades, and that's about it. That's about the life is left in this planet. If you are generous, you can add 1 more decade if you want. But in other words, it's in our lifetime kind of things. And the people who are on this planet now, during the lifetime of these people, all the people here right now, the story will be over and the game will be end. So I said, that's a very terrible thing to do, that coming to an end. And that's where pandemic came. Pandemic puts the whole machine in a dead stop. And I try to give a vision of a train, carrying all of us in a train. And the train was moving very fast in a high speed and ending up in a disastrous end, where everybody will be, our life will be over. Nobody will be living on this planet anymore because of all the problems that we have created in the world, because of the system that we have been pursuing all along. And what pandemic has done, stop this train. That's what I say, it's a dead stop. It just stop the train. when the train is stopped, it's very kind of the pandemic that it helped us to stop the train. Now we can get off the train and look around, whether we want to go back to the train and go back to the same direction again, or we never go back to the train which is taking us to the final death. We create a new train and have a new track and go some other destination, not the destination that it was moving. We go to the other destination. So that's a choice given to us. And we don't want to miss this choice. This is an opportunity created by the pandemic. We must not miss this opportunity. And that's why I keep saying the most fundamental thing that we have to do right now is to say, no going back. We don't want to go back where we are coming from. We have to go a new destination, new path. So this is the whole crux of the entire feeling that I have during the pandemic. And I'm pleading with everybody that we should pursue that. And this global warming is created by the system that we have developed. This is not something done by God, by some order of the supreme authority that is done. It's not like that. We created this whole situation for ourselves because of the way we brought our thinking process into it, the way we designed the economic system, the way we do it. And that created the global warming because we interpreted human being in a wrong way in the economics that we developed. We defined human being in a wrong way. We called the human being as someone who is driven by self-interest. I said, that's a very disastrous thing to define human being driven by self-interest. So in a way, by believing in what you design as an economic theory, we start converting ourselves into some kind of money-making machines. So we are no longer human being because all we do is to make money. It's a money-centric world that we make. We became money-centric entities and nothing human values anymore. So I said, that's not the true interpretation of human being. Human beings do have self-interest. So we are driven by self-interest, but that's not the major identity of human being. Major identity of human being is also driven by common interest. That common interest is what excites us, that we can do things so that everybody benefits from it. That part of common interest is completely eliminated from our economic thoughts. So we have to redesign our economic thought to redesign the whole system on the basis of the new identity of human being as someone who is driven by common interest. Then we need to go in that direction. So this is the time to rediscover ourselves as a human being and move into the world in that way. So why we have created the global warming? Because we wanted to make money for ourselves. Only thing we understood, only thing we knew is money, how to make money. Interpretation of being self-driven human being is given as a maximization of profit. So we became a profit-centric world. We are running after money. So money made us forget everything else. And that's what created the global warming. We don't care whether we destroy the planet, we destroy its environment, because that brings money. We know exactly where the environment is being destroyed, who is contributing how much in destruction of the economy through profit maximization and so on. But we don't want to do anything. We feel very comfortable the way we are. So we want to go back to where we have been. We don't want to change anything because we know that it's bad, but we don't want to change anything. I say it's like someone who is drug addict or any kind of addiction. If you're addicted, you don't see anything differently anymore. You enjoy being addicted, knowing fully well this destroys you. It's harmful to you, it's harmful to your family, harmful to everybody around you, but you don't want to change. You know what will make you change, but you don't want to do that. So this is what happened to us. We know exactly how to solve this problem of global warming in absolutely precise details, but we don't want to do that. We want to continue the way we are. So Corona pandemic had given us an opportunity to now shake us up, that now that it's stopped, we can do something different, very different way. it's not only the global warming which is hurting us, it's also global wealth concentration. All the wealth of the world is concentrated in few hands. In a way, 1% of the population of the world owning 99% of the wealth of the world. So that's not an economy, that's not a distribution of wealth that we're talking about. This is a massive mockery of a system. A system cannot be done in a way everything goes in a few hands and everybody else get nothing. So we don't need to be smart to design something like that. This is done in a way, in a destructive way. So how do we design a thing which will distribute wealth to everybody in a way which is reasonably accepted by everybody else? So this is the kind of thing. So if you allow this economic machine to continue, wealth concentration will continue. And if wealth concentration will continue, this world will be a ticking time bomb. It will explode with anger, with the political turmoil and everything else. So that's not the world that we want to be part of. We don't want to go back to that. Then comes the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is coming very fast and make us totally irrelevant. Human beings will be unnecessary on this planet because they are not needed anymore. Machine does everything and does it better. So if machine does better, machine does everything, then there's no need for human being. So we become surplus. We become useless on this planet. We are like a pest in our homes. We are not relevant for the homes anymore. So this world, our home, we become useless as pests, and somebody may call up the pest control department, clean up this mess. We don't need those people who are screaming around. So this is the kind of surplus situation that will be massive unemployment of human being. That's the ultimate of artificial intelligence is coming. So all this together, that world is not something that we would like to go back to. So let's make a decision that this is not where we want to go. This is an opportunity to create a world absolutely opposite of what we have done so far. And that's our challenge. We need a world with zero net carbon emission. So let's create a world with 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission. We want to have a world with a very healthy environment around us. And each generation will be handing up this planet as a safer planet to the next generation, rather than make us more dangerous and hand it over to the next generation. That's what our young children are marching in the street for. Every Friday, they are marching on the street, call themselves Fridays for Future. And they are complaining about their parents, saying that our parents have been totally irresponsible. They destroyed our future. They stole our future. So children who are supposed to be admiring you, what you are, what as a parent, now accusing you for destroying them, for killing them. You have created a world where they will be, their future will be stolen, meaning they will have no future at all. If our children are complaining like this, accusing like this, imagine what our grandchildren will do. They will have no life at all, because the way world is moving, the only thing probably these teenagers may grow into adults, but the next generation will not have a chance to do anything, because by that time world will be over. This is the direction we are going. So if that is so, this is the time to absolutely make a full stop and say enough. We don't want to ride this train. We were going to build a new train where we'll have 3 zeros: zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, and zero unemployment. It's possible. All you have to do, think differently, design differently. One is we interpret human being differently, that yes, we are driven by self-interest, and more so, we are driven by collective interest. That collective interest has to be welcome. Then we have to look at us as a different being, not as a job seekers. The present economic system designed us as job seekers. Every institution that we build, academic institution is built, we train our young people to get a good job. I said, that's a shame. We shouldn't be producing through our education institutions on people to fit into jobs, and to take pride that we are producing job-ready young people. I said the real issue would be education institution should be producing life-ready young people. They will take the challenge of life and create a new world, new version of the world. Each generation we'll create a new version of the world, which will be much better than the previous version that we had. That's the challenge human beings do. It's not through jobs, it's through entrepreneurship. Human beings are born as entrepreneurs. That's our identity. Ever since we came to this planet, we were pursuing that entrepreneurship. We became hunters, we became gatherers, we became farmers. This is our identity. Suddenly economy said, no, you have to work for somebody and we'll create jobs for you. And that ends our creative power. Job is the end of creativity. You don't need creativity for a job. All you need to follow orders and you become a part of the machine. And human beings are neither a machine nor a part of any machine. Human being is constantly rediscovering himself, rediscovering herself. That's a human being. And human being redesigning and recreating the world again and again to explore the possibilities that they have in this world. So this is the direction that we should be going forward to. And this is the challenge we have, in Corona gave us this chance to think we are not going back. We are going to create a new world. And this is our opportunity to do that. A world of 3 zeros: 0 net carbon emission, 0 wealth concentration, and 0 unemployment. That's what we want to do. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Thank you.
Professor Junius, thank you very much for this extraordinary and insightful lecture and for sharing, as always, your experiences and ideas. I am sure your message and actions inspire all of us to build this new train and go to a different direction, a better one for sure. And this also means that in all crises, there are great opportunities, and we all need to take them and act together to really share this vision that you say in the common interest with these at least 3 net zeros. So now I will guide our brief dialogue for you to share some additional thoughts, especially on the house, which I think is going to be of a lot of interest from our audience. Let's talk about innovation that you mentioned. We are certain that creative thinking should be at the core to create this new economic engine. What about the new possibilities for more equitable society taking innovation as a core engine? What do you think about that? Those rural areas could be beneficial for the new inflows from people who came back due to the pandemic and be innovative about it?
Yeah, first innovation, the pandemic has led us to seeing this rural people losing all their income. And those rural people who migrated to the urban centers for livelihood, for survival livelihoods, to make a living so that they can send money home in the rural areas to their families so that they can survive also. So that is a very funny way that we have created the economy. When the pandemic came, these people who were hanging by the nails for survival, suddenly their nails couldn't take it anymore, they fell. And you see huge population in the world who lost immediately all their income. And this is the immediate thing that we saw at the beginning of this pandemic. Massive number. And what they did, they were in the cities, they have no money to buy their food, they have no money to pay their rent, they have no savings left. So what they wanted to do, go back home. This is their first survival effort. And we saw it in India, in Bangladesh, millions of people walking back home because during the lockdown period, all the transportation stopped, trains, buses, vehicles, everything stopped because of the government order that you cannot move. So now, but they're so desperate, the only thing they saw is possible for them to go back, to survive, is to go back home. So there are millions of them going back, not 50 miles away, not 100 miles away, hundreds of miles away. They are now walking on this highway with their children, little possessions they have, because they don't think they're ever coming back to the city anymore. So they're going back there. So this is a terrible thing that the pandemic made is visible. And who are these people? Economists tell them they're the informal sector people, I said, that's a very bad word that you put for them. This is in country like Bangladesh and India, these are 70% of the population of this category. They live by themselves. They take care of themselves. They are not a burden on the society. They are not burden on anybody. They are just doing their own thing. They produce things, they sell things, they take care of their families. They have informal jobs, daily jobs, or something, and on the side they sell something. So these are really entrepreneurs. So you're degrading the quality of the entrepreneurs by calling them informal sector, as if they're doing something bad things. They are doing good things. They are the entrepreneurs. So I said, first thing economists should do is to put a new name for them. Instead of informal sector, you call them micro-entrepreneur sector. The moment you look at this 70% of the people as micro-entrepreneur sector, then you see the enormous powerhouse that they create for the society. Then you bring all the support for that. Any entrepreneurship, the fuel is always the finance. But these people have no finance. They live on the finance from the loan sharks, and loan sharks are everywhere. They grab everything these people have earned, take them away, and the people remain the poor as they were before. They cannot get out because of the loan shark. I said the first responsibility of the economy is to design a financing system and start new banking system, like the Grameen Bank type of system, and call it micro-entrepreneur bank. So that all micro-entrepreneurs can have easy access, no guarantee, no collateral, no all of the banking kind of thing. And then suddenly you open up. They don't have to come to the city. They become entrepreneur right where they live, because there are plenty of opportunity where they live. Agriculture is a fascinating thing for them. And today, with the given technology, given the information technology, most brightest thing that you can do right out of the village, because you're connected for the whole world. You don't have to go to the city to go to the world. Your village is the part of the world, direct connection. So this is what we should recognize them as a micro-entrepreneur sector, create a see, labor has a labor ministry. Labor is only 20% of the population maybe, but you have a powerful labor ministry. You have institutions for the labor. You have rights of the labor. Everything you have legislated. You have not done a single thing for the 70% of the population. I said, why don't you create Ministry of Micro-Entrepreneurs, so that you have responsibility to create these institutions, make sure they can do their own thing. This is the powerhouse of the entire economy. So if you can shape this up, the men, women, and young adults, everybody will be doing that. They're very smart young people. They're very smart rural people. So don't worry about that. Simply give them the right kind of institution, right kind of policy, economy, and the society will be completely changed. These are the points that I wanted to make.
Thank you, Professor. Can you elaborate a little bit more about how do you see this balance between the need for this new direction that you're mentioning and the need for the rapid economic recovery that we need?
I don't need economic recovery. I'm not going that way because I don't want to go back. When you say recovery, you want to go back. I'm not going back. But you have recovery packages already built. You know, every government has announced the bailout packages. Some countries come up with billions of dollars of bailout packages. I'm sure Mexico has a huge bailout packages already declared, already finalized. And some countries have trillions of dollars in their bailout packages. So money is already there. I said, don't use this money to go back and commit suicide. So the money is not the problem. You have the money already. Use the money to come away from the fossil fuel. Don't give the money to the fossil fuel to start the engine and do the same thing. Use this money not to stop, just to stop the fossil fuel and create green energy. All kinds of renewable energy is possible. Today, renewable energy has a lot of possibilities. Only thing, they are not getting the support that they need. All the fossil fuel industry is sucking up all the money, all the support and everything. They are receiving subsidies from the government, fossil fuel. Imagine that. Instead of giving them heavy taxation because they are ruining this whole world, discourage them to produce. We are encouraging to produce more and more, make it happen. So this is first one. And then plastic industry. Fossil fuel industry contributes 80% of the entire pollution for the whole world. So if you can stop that fossil fuel industry, we're coming very close to the zero net carbon emission very soon. So we know how to do that. But as I said, we don't want to do that. We are addicted to it. So we want to enjoy our comfort zone without disturbing anybody. Now, we have to disturb. This is the time for taking outrageously bold decision. If you don't take outrageously bold decision now, we are finished. So this is the point we're saying. So it's not recovery, it's a redesign and redirection. So this is a big difference between what the recovery and the redirection is.
It's a change of mindset, and we need to do that.
Absolutely, completely.
And can you elaborate a little bit more about the house on the three net zeros that you mentioned,
yeah.
The economics of zero poverty, or the zero unemployment, or the zero net carbon? Some examples of collaborating initiatives that you see around the world that we can benefit from that, and that we can also design here in Mexico and in Monterrey.
Sure, yeah, of course. One very simple thing, as I said, we tell the young people, we are not job seekers, we are entrepreneurs, we are job creators. So we, in our school, in our education system, we tell the young people, believe that you are entrepreneurs. Get ready to be entrepreneurs. We'll give you courses how to become entrepreneurs. We'll give you financing facilities how to start to become entrepreneurs. If young people start this as a choice, you don't have to force them to be entrepreneurs in the beginning, because they will rebel. So why? I need a job. So you can be a job seeker too. But if you are a job seeker, you get into a little slot and spend rest of the life into that little slot. You can get out of it. You have to sacrifice all your creative power. You are a huge human being with lots of creative power, but now with a job, we squeezed you into a little slot and you stay there. You cannot expand yourself. But entrepreneurship is the sky's the limit. You can do anything. You can change the whole world. One person, each one of you can change the whole world. And that's the power you have because of the new technology you have in your hand, new ideas you have in your hand, and the freedom that you enjoy, you can change the whole world. So this is the message that we give to the young people. And then how does it relate to the 3 zeros? If all our future generation people, all of them, suppose, become entrepreneurs, to give an example, absolutely one-sided example, all of them become entrepreneurs. Will there be wealth concentration? Wealth concentration will disappear. Wealth concentration happens because we work for the other guy. If we don't work for them, they cannot be the massively rich people. They become rich people because I work for them, you work for them, she works for them, everybody works for them. And they only pay us. And there are few people, all of us, and we produce those people to go and work for them. And that's how the wealth concentration takes place. If all of these young people go become entrepreneurs, each one will pick up their own wealth. And if everybody picks up their own wealth, there is no wealth concentration. So this is how one after another. And with the zero net carbon emission, we remove everything from the fossil fuel and everything, which is causing all this. We stop that forest burning. Forest burning comes because of the profit maximization. They need to clear up the forest to grow soybean. Would you believe the Amazonia is being burned out because they want soybean to grow? Why they want soybean? They want to feed the cattle. Why do you need the cattle? Because people love beef and there's a lot of money making. I said, all we have to do, refuse to eat beef. If you don't eat beef, I don't eat beef, everybody doesn't eat beef, the whole beef industry is over, and fossil fuel, also the carbon contribution to the planet is over. And we don't have to burn the forest. We invite the forest so that it can help us clean up the pollution and so on and so forth. So this is it's us responsible. It's not something somebody else is doing somewhere. I'm doing it. I'm using the fossil fuel. I'm eating the beef. If I don't eat the beef, if I don't use the fossil fuel industry is over. So this is how it begins. This is a simple. If I don't eat beef, will the pollution be over? Yes, of course. If I don't eat beef, my children don't eat beef, my neighbors don't eat beef, that's how the whole thing is done. The first thing, you have to make that baby step to start. If you don't do that, it will never get done.
Thank you, Professor Yunus. I think this best practice sharing is inspiring for us, and let's continue to do that, because I think we need to work together, collaborate, and understand what's happening in the world, so we can also design and innovate on different initiatives here in Mexico and in Monterrey. And well, it's always hopeful to hear it from you, so thank you. And now we will transition to our Q&A session. Let me introduce you to two young enthusiastic participants from the YSBC's, the Junior Social Business Center around Latin America. You will receive one question from each one. And as a reminder, we encourage the audience also to write and continue to writing down your questions. I will try to squeeze them at the end, so if the time allows. So now, getting back to our YSBC's participants, I would like to introduce Ana Maria Peñiñuri, which is the co-founder of the Social Businesses Polumesh, former student and participant of the YSBC UDEM, and also Santiago Hernandez, a student and participant of the YSBC from Universidad Externado from Colombia. So, Ana Maria, let's start with you.
Okay, Ana Maria.
Hello, Professor Yunus. I am Ana Maria from Mexico. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you very much for sharing a part of your experience with us. So my question is, as entrepreneurs with social causes, how can we contribute to the change that is sought to generate an equitable economy after the pandemic? What advice can you give us to take actions towards it?
Yeah, I was just referring to that. The pandemic has revealed things, all the weaknesses in our society, all the weaknesses in our thinking, all the weaknesses in our economy. So pick up any one of them. And I was elaborating, one of them is how 70% of the population get dropped completely. Their lifeline is cut off. They cannot have any income. They cannot have any, there are no more savings left. They cannot pay their rent anymore. That's how they got disconnected. So they're still here. They're still struggling. It's not over yet. So as a social business, how do you design a social business so that they don't have to suffer like that? What kind of social business we can do? First thing I was referring to, the fuel of any entrepreneur is the finance. So we create finance institution. We create banking institution. This is one way. Start banking institution, finance institution, design finance institution, make it easy for them to get the money and so on. We remove the whole idea of collateral, make it easy for them. We made sure that anybody can borrow money and get started. You don't need any training for that. And so you got to start right away. And that's how the millions and millions of women in the rural areas, totally illiterate women, never had any experience of running any kind of business, became entrepreneur because they just had the money transformed their mind and learned from each other, copy from each other, encouragement from each other, and they have millions of people. Now we run microcredit program in the USA called Grameen America. There are lots of microcredit program in Mexico we were involved with in Chiapas and Oaxaca and many other places. So this is in the USA now. These are again in the USA is serving 130,000 women all over the United States in 15 cities. And 70% of these women who are connected with microfinance with Grameen America are Latin American, mostly are Mexicans. So not only we are working with the Mexican women in Mexico, we're also working with Mexican women in the United States. They are so relieved they have some money. Otherwise the mafias will come and give money and then break their leg or something. They cannot survive. Today it is expanding. Even in the pandemic situation, their performance is so well. And just so proud of the thing that they have done, what they did. Their pandemic hit them very hard. At least 51 of our borrowers died because of the coronavirus. So that's not easy thing to work with them. These are the people who actually die. There are many who was attacked by virus, but struggled with it, survived, but still now trying to get back to their life and so on. But we are together. We have done everything possible for the families who lost their members and the persons who are still struggling, so that the Grameen is always with them. So those are the kind of things. This is a concrete thing, concrete problem. If we are talking about human being as a collective problem-solving people, it's a collective interest, driven by collective interest, common interest. This is the common interest. This is what we should be doing. Just I gave an example. Then you have the healthcare. During the pandemic, we saw how empty the healthcare package is, how helpless the people are. Public health didn't exist. It's only in the book, it's only in the papers. When you go, actually, you want to find the help from the public health, there is nothing there. So this is the problem. Not only in Mexico or in Bangladesh or someplace, even the United States, go to the United States, there is no public health. So this is just emptiness of that. So we have to fill this, how to address the common issues through our system, addressing them, social business and so on. So there are a wide range of things. You just pick it up a small way. Don't try to solve the big problem overnight. Start small and let it grow by itself.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Now, Santiago from Colombia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marta. Good evening, Professor Yunus. Let me start by saying that it's an honor to meet you. And we are really excited and happy in Externado in Colombia to be part of the Yunus family and cause. And my question is, which are the steps to follow in order to change the mindset of the micro-entrepreneurs and rural micro-entrepreneurs from a regular for-profit business pushed by an unfair and selfish capitalist system to a righteous social business environment that pursues a common goal? And we as universities or academic enablers, which role do we play on that change?
Well, that's where the whole thing begins in the academia. Academia has two roles. One, the role is to bring the accumulated knowledge of the past and the entire world and squeeze them, make it easy for new generation to be introduced to that, what has been done in the past. So the past knowledge, store of knowledge is communicated to the new generation. That's a very important job for the universities. But more important is to challenge them. Say you're wrong, completely wrong. So this is the time to challenge, because we saw the results that we have created by following the old thinking is disastrous. You don't need to write books about it. Just simply saying that any system which kills us by global warming is the wrong system. Something is wrong someplace. So why should we copy that, abandon that, challenge that? Who said we have to be somebody, a money-making machine? Human being is not a money-making machine. It's not a machine to begin with. Human being has human values. That human values is forgotten completely. Sharing and caring is part of human being. That's why it has a very, very important aspect of human being is to address the common interest. Bring the common interest back into it. So the whole problem of all the disaster that I'm talking about is created by the academics, because that's what we do to our children. Tell them this is right and this is wrong. If they say it differently, we give them bad grades. They don't pass. You have to exactly follow your teacher, what he has done. Say, this is the tradition we have done. We have to teach them that whatever I'm saying, most probably these are all wrong things. You figure it out how it is done. This is the way the old thoughts were done. But don't take it for granted, because they made all the mistakes. Give that seed of doubt, seed of challenge into it, so that they wake up that, yes, I have a chance now. If my teacher says this may be wrong because it created the wrong result, I thought it will clean up the mess, it will have a good environment, but following path that we have created a mess of the planet. Now we won't have any planet left for us, but you are the one who can come up with the solution. So you tell us how to do that. Then they will start working. Yes, I know how to do that. And some of them will really do that. And this is so challenge the existing thought. That's why you have to be very, very bold in that. Yes, it can be done, and it has to be done for out of survival. If you want to survive on this planet, you have to abandon this and replace it by something different. And an easy solution that I have been giving, I said, just reverse what you do. What they say, do it other way. Wrong. If they say go right, you go left. If they say go up, you go down. By reversing the gear, you go to the right path. So every place, everything you say, you challenge it. You say, no, go, we'll create jobs for you. So then not creating job is the right thing. Because by creating job, we created the problem of wealth concentration and then taking away our creativity. So find it out. So challenge every bit of information, every bit of recommendations here, come out with the old ideas, old thinking. Then you have a new thinking and you systematize it, then pass it on. And mutually, it will come between the teacher and the student together. If the teacher said this is the right thing and your thing is wrong, you're finished. That role has to be ended.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Santiago. Thank you, Professor. Well, we have 10 more minutes, so if you allow me, I'm going to switch to our audience questions. So we have Juan Aguilera, who is asking, how do you envision the new technology playing a role in these new 3 zeros, like artificial intelligence or blockchain, 3D printing, etc.?
One way that I respond to that, don't take technology as something by name is good. So technology doesn't equal to something good for people. Always say technology can be a curse, destroy human being, and technology can be a blessing, can add to the happiness of the people. So you have to be selective which technology you're talking about. So just because it's technology doesn't mean it's good for me. And one of the things that I'm referring to is the artificial intelligence. I say artificial intelligence, when it replaces human being, is a curse. It's taking us into the curse direction. So if nuclear science is a blessing for people, I accept it. If nuclear science lead to nuclear weapons, it's a curse. I don't like that. I want to remove all the nuclear weapons, all the weapons of mass destruction. Chemical is good if it's healthy, if it make medicines and so on. But if it destroys people by interfering with their livelihood, with interfering with their food chain and so on, I destroy it. This is a curse. I don't want that. So we have to be very selective. Which one is right and which is wrong. So artificial intelligence, which takes away people's right to be creative and running this world for themselves, this is right. So this is the artificial intelligence that we'll be accepting, not replacing them. If artificial intelligence is helping us in overcoming our health issues by bringing artificial, that's a blessing, we accept it. So you have to, same technology, by use, you make it different, what you want. So it's in your mind. Technology is not the driver. Your mind is the driver. So make sure your mind catches up whether this one is good, this one is bad. So divide it up and make sure the curse part doesn't come into your way. Just keep it always out of your sight, out of your way.
Thank you, Professor. Marcos Rangel is saying, a lot has been said around automatization. What new jobs do you see as relevant jobs in the world of the 3 zeros?
Green energy is a good job, new job. Lots of things can be done because this is a green field completely. Because the other economy that we have created ignored the green energy. So now it's a absolutely huge opportunity to do that. Healthcare is again a big one. Very few people are lucky enough to get the real healthcare. So if you can come out with the healthcare system, a completely new redesigned healthcare system, that's a big contribution in technology and so on. So this is another area. How to bring agriculture in a healthy way so that you don't destroy the soil in order to produce more. Don't come with artificial things applied to the agriculture to make it more profit out of that. Don't use pesticide. Don't use chemical fertilizer. Replace them. Make it friendly. Make it soil by itself. So there are so many things. We did so many wrong things. By fixing the wrong things to get the right things, is a huge task for us. And each one will create a lot of activities for us, a lot of enterprises for us, a lot of thinking for us. Your microphone got off.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank you.
Now, okay.
Technology.
Technology again, yeah.
Pedro Gomez is saying the motivation to start a business is a profit. How do we balance incentives of micro entrepreneurships?
Yeah, that's right. It's profit is a incentive. It's everybody accepts that. But what I try to underline, profit is not the only incentive. That's the word only. The way when people say profit is the incentive, they mean profit is the only incentive. I defy that. I deny that. There are many other incentives in the world, which may not be related to money at all. So incentive. And to young people, when they raise this question, I try to respond it by saying, is it making money? Maybe happiness. So that's why it became a big incentive. Making money is a happiness. I said, making money may be happiness. Making other people happy is a super happiness. So you have a choice now, whether you want to be happy with the money or you want to be super happy with making other people happy. They said, well, we never saw making other people make super happy. I said, you never tried that. You know how to make happy by making money, but you never tried making other people happy and feel that super happiness. I said, at least try it. Well, I can guarantee you, if you like it, you'll get attached to it. You can't get away from it. It's something very absorbing. It catches you. Once it catches you, you can't get away. You want to do more of it. So that's what the social business is all about. You're doing with things that you have not done before, and you want to do it because it excites you. It gives you happiness. And I said, I said, making money may be happiness. You know why? Because happiness cannot be measured with money. You can have tons and tons of money, but you may be the worst happy person in the world. You see, your happiness is totally gone. You're completely gone. So size of the money doesn't measure your happiness. Happiness is something else. So you go where you get a plain, simple happiness by making other people happy. You never fail in that. That happiness is pure happiness. So this is what the incentives are all about.
Thank you. I'm sure we all want to be super happy. So
absolutely super happy. That's it.
We have another question from Jesus Sanchez, who says, does corruption adversely affect growth and therefore affect the redesigning of the economy?
Absolutely, yes. Corruption is again coming from that money-centric world. You want to grab money as quickly as in any means, because when you are a profit maximizer, you don't care what you do, where you violate law, where you destroy the planet. That's why you have the fossil fuel, you have all the drug industries. You want to make money. That's why you sell drugs. Not only the drugs that addiction in a certain way, but also drugs like cigarettes. Cigarette industry is a big industry. But you know you're killing people. But you go on, you advertise yourself, you do that, and you as if you're the only thing you say, we create jobs. I said, that doesn't mean that you kill people. You don't give license to kill people. So these are the kind of things that you have to see what kind of businesses you run, for what purposes, what design you have to have. So those.
Thank you, Professor, and thank you for all the audience. There are a lot of questions, but the time, unfortunately, is up. We would like, before we go, to have a chance to take a photo with you, if you allow us.
Let's do that.
So
let's do that. Thank you.
If all of us can
I'll be delighted.
Your video, so we can have the photo taken.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Thank you. I see Yan is there, right in front of me. Hi there.
So you let me know when the photo is finalized.
Thank you. Okay.
Ready.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, on behalf of the University of Monterrey, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you again, Professor Yunus, for sharing your great experiences, your perspectives, and for this amazing time and reflection in order to discover the actions of the new economy in Latin America and all over the world. I will also like to thank Dr. Atoche, the Dean of the Business School, Karina Astorga, the Director of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub UDEM, Janice Valadez, the coordinator of the Yunus Center UDEM, to my CEMEX team and the YSBC's participants from UDEM and the University of Externado. Now more than ever, it is evident that we need to find new ways to create new inclusive economic accelerators, such as these social businesses, the rural economy, the environmentally friendly technologies, so we don't, so no one is left behind. The time, as we all heard, is now. We need to be innovative with actions that must lead to the creation of a socially and environmental conscious new economy for our community. So together we can achieve shared social transformation. We thank you all for joining us today, and wherever you are, have a nice day or evening, and please take care. Thank you, Professor Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you very much again. Thank you. Bye-bye. 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 Thank you. Good night.